Hi, good morning bombshells. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on two different foundations. I was in Target looking for the L'Oreal Matte and Low Lacquer series, and my Target doesn't have it yet, and the lady was asking me how I knew about the lip gloss or where I'd seen it, and I told her that some bloggers on YouTube had blogged about it, so I was interested in trying them out, and she seemed kind of interested in them. And then she asked if I looked up a lot of beauty tips on sorry, I got makeup everywhere, on YouTube, and I told her actually I was a beginning beauty blogger, and so she gave me a small sample of the Perfect Boots No7 foundation, but she put it in here and she gave me this little itty bitty bit. So what I thought I would do is half my face in Boots, and then I would do half my face in Smashbox Halo, since I do have a sample of this one too, but the difference is the fabulous ladies at Sephora gave me, enough to cover my face twice. So I figured I would just divide it down the middle. So let's get started and we'll see how this lasts through the day. First I'm going to start with Spackled Supercharged Fortified Under Makeup Primer by Laura Geller. I just got this in that Vine Ripen package box, and so I'm going to try those colors out later, not today. I'm just going to do foundation day because I just have some running around to do, and it's going to be pretty hot out there, so I thought it'd be a perfect day, and this way I'm not wiping off my eyeshadow all day long. Even with the makeup setter, I sweat pretty heavy, so in the summertime I try not to do a whole lot of eyeshadows because it's just wipe, just keeping my brow clean. Okay, and then I'm going to put on a little bit of concealer. It's a new concealer that I picked up at Nordstrom on the rack, and it's the Stila one. And actually, I've never even seen these before, so it was kind of a surprise to me when I saw them. But since they had such a good price on them, I thought, well, what the heck, let's give them a try. So these are just like those lip glosses. They twirl up from the bottom, which is spread out. Okay, let's go with the Beauty Blender. And so we'll see how this holds up also as well all day along with the makeup. And since I'm testing on two different foundations, it'll give us a pretty good idea of how it does with different formulas of foundation. So, it's not bad. I think it looks pretty good. It blends in pretty well. And it's got a little bit of a highlighter in it too. So just a little bit more for the dark circles. That's pretty nice. So next I'm going to try, get my bangs out of my face, the Boots No7 foundation in Perfect. And she really did not put a lot in there, so I guess I'll have to dab my brush in here. And let's see. I guess a little bit does go a long way. And it's going on pretty nice. It's not heavy. The coverage, I would say, is medium, not very heavy. It actually has a good feel to it. It's not very heavy at all. So it looks like it's going on pretty nice. And I'm not going to have to set this because I did use a primer. So I guess that little bit did go a pretty long way. Realistically, I just had enough just to put one on my face, so I just try to blend it. And this is actually a perfect match to me. When she put it on, it went right on and went right into the skin. So there we go. We have the boots on this side. And you know, she didn't even write down the color on there. So next I got the Smashbox Halo number 5. And I'm pretty anxious to try this one. I love Smashbox, so I'm hoping this one goes on really nice and works out. This looks pretty dark. But we'll see how this goes on. Get a little bit from the lid too. There we go. This seems a little bit heavier. So let's see how this one works out. Oh, yeah, it looks really dark, but hey, look at that. This goes on really, really nice. I really, really like the way this feels. It's light and it's got it's very light, but it's got a good cover, very, very good coverage to it. So far so good with both of them. And I don't know about you, I always kind of like to blend it a little past there and fade it into the neck. This way people can't tell that how much foundation you have on or the coloring. But both colors were a very good match. So the Smashbox side seems to have a much more matte coverage. This one seems to kind of dry like with a powdery finish. At least on my skin on this side, this is how it looks. But it definitely seems like I have a much better kind of glow on this one than that one. So I tested these out together. I mean, typically I wouldn't test out kind of like a Target drugstore brand with a Smashbox brand, because obviously their formulas are going to be a little bit different. But the day that I picked up the Boots sample, I actually saw them create a display in Ulta, so it kind of does bring them up to the same level. And the lady was telling me that the makeup artist from Chanel works on the Boots line, so I thought a Smashbox would be almost a perfect equivalent to it. So, you know, it's not really high-end. I'm not testing out, you know, my Lancome 24-hour makeup to it, you know, which is obviously a little more high-end. So anyway, this is what I got, and so I'm gonna go run a few errands for a few hours, and I will get back to you and let you know how it is holding up. Thanks. Hi everybody, doing a quick check-in. I applied the makeup at about 11 a.m. this morning, and now it's about 5, so 6 hours later, and both of them are holding up pretty well, pretty fabulously. I just left the foundation on, didn't put anything on under it. I did put the Laura Geller primer on underneath because I heard that the Smashbox needed it, so I just did it for the whole face. And the only thing I've noticed is that the Boots is kind of worn off a little bit. It's kind of settled into a little bit of the fine lines, and but the Smashbox side seems to be holding up and not settling in. So this is where I'm at 6 hours, so I'll come back in a few hours and we'll see where we're at after that. So I've been running errands, been in the heat, in and out of air conditioning, car air conditioning. So, but so far, so good. I do like the way that the Boots is holding up. It does have a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel heavy or sticky or pasty, and either does the Smashbox side. The only thing I've noticed right now is it kind of settles into the fine lines just a little bit, and so that would kind of turn me off to the foundation. But so far, so good. So I'll see you back in a few hours. Bye. Hi everyone. So it is 10 o'clock at night, I believe now. So I've had the makeup on for 11 hours, and I've actually fallen asleep on it and woke up. Now I'm back here again. Definitely the Smashbox one has lasted all day. It's starting to kind of wear a little bit here, and I think it's mainly because I was rubbing my eyes. And but for the most part, the coloring from the foundation is still there. The Boots, I would say, it's probably about a good 8-hour wear, at least for as active as I am, for the amount of wear that I guess I put into the day, you know, with like sweating and the heat and falling asleep. And then, but for the most part, I did notice that the Smashbox one Halo did last a lot longer. The Boots one, it was a nice, and it was a light coverage, light to medium. Halfway through the day though, it did start to settle into the fine lines right here, I did notice. So it's a good foundation, but maybe if you're inside all day, it'll last longer. But if you're in and out and running errands and, you know, working up a little bit of a sweat, you definitely want to go with something a little bit stronger, like the Smashbox Halo. I did have a primer on, so it is. I really like the both of them. They both lightweight, light to medium coverage, and it just the Smashbox one just held out a little bit longer than the Boots 7. I did like the Boots 7. When it dried, it kind of seemed to kind of have like a powdery finish to it. When the Smashbox one drying, it kind of had more of a, had like that glow to it. And where the Boots kind of just dried, and it kind of, when I looked at it, it kind of looked like I had like a powder foundation on. So I guess it kind of depends on your skin type and what you really prefer. I wouldn't mind the Boots 7 if I worked inside all day and just had an 8-hour work day and wanted to come home and get my makeup off. But if I was gonna go for the long haul, I think I would actually use the Smashbox Halo. Like I said, I did have a primer on. I didn't set it with powder. If I had just used foundation, I would have set it with powder, but with the primer alone. And I did use this Laura Geller one. I love Sarah Geller. Laura Geller one, and that's a really nice foundation primer. So I think that it would hold both foundations equally as well. So anyway, that is my comparison on the two foundations. I hope it was somewhat helpful to you guys as it was me. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment box below. And if you want to hear any more from my channel on tutorials and whatnot, please subscribe below. This week I'm going to be doing, and this week I'll be doing tutorials on my daughter. They're having their homecoming early, so I'm going to do a bunch of different eye looks on her. So if you have, you know, teenage daughters, or you're interested in kind of a more going out type of look, you know, homecoming, kind of more glamorous, then stay tuned, and have a good night. Bye.